Hey, I'm Dave Mowitz reporting from the Tools from the Future seminars being held at Des Moines. Next week we have them going on both in Bloomington, Illinois and in Lafayette, Indiana. And today Wayne Birkenholz with Firestone was discussing the impact that inflation pressures have on tires, at tire performance and also tire compaction. Wayne, we were looking at what is a very typical tractor tire, much as we see with the tractor tire behind us here. And that's a 480/80 R50. And why don't you tell us about the difference that you saw with the footprints when you changed the inflation pressure?
Well, Dave, a couple of days ago we measured the rear axle load on this tractor with the DB60 planter in the raised transport position, and we found that on the 480/80 R50 tires dualed up, our total axle load was 29,750 pounds. And the recommended, the proper inflation pressure for that axle load for that tire size was 26 psi. And we took the cardboard here, put that in the footprint, and measured and outlined that with black spray paint to determine how the size and the length of that footprint.
And what we're seeing here is we have a 25-inch footprint length.
That's correct, and that's the proper inflation pressure for this tire size, that axle load, for the standard tire.
Now, how did that differ when you lowered the inflation pressure then?
Well, as we look at our new technology, our AD2 product line, it's designed to carry a given load at less pressure. We could back up and show what we have here at the same axle load.
And this is the IF.
This would be the IF tire.
Right.
The IF is an industry standard for 20% more load capacity at the same
Axle weight.
Axle weight.
Yeah, axle weight.
In this case, we're got the given axle load. We're going to reduce the inflation pressure. So for our AD2 tire, we only need 19 psi to carry that same load of 29,750 pounds. We get that longer footprint, and that leads to less soil compaction benefit to our farmers.
Well, what's significant about this is we have 26 psi here, 19 psi here, 25 inches of footprint here, 28 here. And not only does that reduce compaction because you have a longer footprint, right?
Absolutely. You get the other benefits of less slippage, more traction. We're going to use less fuel, more traction. All those benefits on top of reduced soil compaction.
Now, IF technology, describe that for me.
IF is an industry standard defined by the Tire and Rim Association. The IF means we can carry, for a given tire size, 20% more load at the same inflation pressure for our standard tire. We also have a VF standard, and that's a 40% increase in axle load at the same inflation pressure.
But Firestone has introduced in recent years a new technology when it comes to implements, and that's the destination tire?
The destination farm tire is the AD2 tires in the radial implement line, manufactured by our sister companies, again, where we get those benefits and we can carry loads at reduced inflation pressure.
Because at one time we always talked about, and I've been covering this issue for 30-some years, we talked tractors, grain carts, combines, but really these planters have gotten so huge, we got to be worried about the tires and the planters, right?
Absolutely. When we look at the loads these tires are carrying, and some of these are requiring 110 psi to carry that load, where with this new technology, VF destination farm tires, we can reduce that inflation pressure down to 52 psi in some cases. So that's certainly a step in the right direction to reduce soil compaction, even on our smaller tires.
And guys don't have to guess about this either. You got a great assistance network that you can use both on a website, and you're even available as you're the product engineering manager, aren't you, for helping farmers select and also utilize the right tires.
Oh, absolutely. I think what we have to start with is what load are we carrying? And we have the ability to go out and measure these things on the farm. We've got portable scales. In some cases we can go out there and do that. Many of our field people have portable scales. We weigh the piece of equipment, then we know what we're dealing with. We can inflate the tires accordingly.
And if guys have any questions, go to the website, which is?
FirestoneAg.com. We also have a mobile site, firestoneag.com/mobile. And there's an inflation guide on there. If you get to that site, go to inflation guide, put in the tire size, put in your duals, singles, triples, and the axle load, and it'll come back and tell you the minimum inflation pressure needed to carry that load.
And I've known this guy long enough that if you're having a problem, believe it or not, he takes telephone calls, and there's not a lot of companies that can make that claim. So if you're really in a pickle or in a quandary what to do with your tires, believe it or not, you can get a hold of Wayne, and he'll be able to answer those questions. Well, we hope to see you at the future Tools for the Future conferences.